I'm living in a house of 14 entrepreneurs here in the South Island of New Zealand. And about 5 weeks ago, I was doing exactly the same thing in Cape Town. Somehow, in between, I've managed to keep growing my two businesses, Art of Mondays and the Founder Sports Club. Actually, let me go get a chair, then we'll keep doing this. So if you're new here, my name's Evan. It's now been about a year and 3 months of building online businesses and traveling the world full time. Since I left home back in July 2024, I've hit up 9 new countries. I've stayed in 10 or so of these founder houses all around the world. I've got food poisoning twice. I've played Australian football for Canada in Texas, and I've grown my online business to, actually, I'll save that for the end, but there's plenty more wacky and wonderful things that have happened along the way. Of course, with a little bit of burnout and exhaustion thrown in for good measure. Anyway, if you're new here, every week I sit down and I share the raw, unfiltered updates of building businesses while living on the road, the highs, the lows, the challenges, the learnings, and everything in between. And to be honest, life's been pretty chockers lately. I missed last week because I was traveling, so this is going to be a big 2-in-1 update. So let's get into it. First, a little bit of a life update. So I've spent another week over in Western Australia hanging out with the Art of Mondays crew. We've been doing daily ice baths, saunas, and having plenty of deep conversations. I've noticed that these faces pop up a lot in my videos, so why don't I introduce everyone real quick. This is Flynn. He's 24, lived most of his teenage years on a remote island. He never wears shoes, he loves crypto, and he's the kind of person who just lifts the energy of a room when he walks into it. This is Joe. He's originally from the UK, but flipped a coin, and that coin decided his fate, which was to travel the world full time. We met in November last year, and he already feels like a best friend. He loves crypto as well, he loves real estate, and he's a bit of a tech and software nerd. And he gives really good hugs too, which definitely I needed once in a while. This is Rach. She's our first official full-time employee for Art of Mondays, but she's so much more than that. She's kind of like the glue that holds everything together, and she always brings a great vibe to what we're doing, and she feels like a friend just as much as a team member. And this fella, the 80-year-old man trapped in a 27-year-old man's body, is Jai. We met about 4 years ago. He was a guest on my podcast, and we launched Art of Mondays together January last year. And the rest is history. Anyway, after a bunch of fun and games and deep work sessions with the crew here in North Fremantle, I flew back to Melbourne because it was time to suit up for one of my best friend's weddings. And that was all the updates from week 1. Week 2 was flying international for the 4th time already this year to New Zealand. And trust me, there'll be heaps of videos coming out about this experience, these founders, and this amazing house behind me. So if you're not already, make sure to subscribe so you can see the videos as they come out. All right, time for my traffic lights. If you don't know what these are, every week I sit down and I share my highlight, my low light, and my learning from the week. My highlight was being a groomsman for the first time. Special shout out to Alan and Sabrina for allowing me to be part of your beautiful day. It was awesome just to be able to reconnect with people from the high school and early 20s era, and we had a lot of fun and danced the night away. My learning for the week is that efficiency is definitely worth investing in, and my example is actually this laptop. I spent about an extra $1,000 to get the bigger screen because as someone who travels full time, I need the extra space to have multiple windows open, and if I got the smaller screen, it would just slow me down. So I know that even though it took a bit of a bite out of the wallet at first, over time the results will compound. And my challenge for the week was honestly going back to Melbourne and trying to squeeze everything in such a short amount of time, with the wedding, buying a new computer, officially quitting my old job, and trying to pack for the next leg of my adventure, which is going to be 8 or 9 months at least. There wasn't much downtime. And that meant I was a little bit high strung throughout the week, which in reflection, I wasn't happy with myself and how I was feeling. So note to self for next time, create a little bit more of a buffer and bake in some time just to rest. All right, and here are your weekly 2 questions to ponder, and they are doozies if you ask me. The first is, what do you need more of right now? Space or structure? And why? And the second is, what activity or action can you take this week that your future self will be grateful for? Think about it, leave a comment, and hold yourself accountable. All right, moving on. So every week I also share the behind the scenes updates of Art of Mondays. Let's get into it. We have now had 1,906 applications, That's up 385 in the last 2 weeks, which I think is our biggest fortnight on record. We now have 137 active members, which is up around 20 for 2 weeks ago. And that's largely thanks to Theo and Eman joining the team and being able to have more conversations with more like-minded founders. The average age is now 28 and they're all lifestyle founders. So what that means is it's someone who runs an online business who also shares our values of travel, freedom, wellness, consciousness, health, kindness, and all the good stuff that we preach about every single week. As for what's happened over the past 7 days, well, first of all, we launched our new co-living benefit, and the first one has now been locked in for French Polynesia in August, which is peak whale swimming season. We also sold out our Croatia founder residency, which is happening in May in a 500-year-old royal castle. From an operations perspective, we also shook up our application process a little bit. And the short version is that we're giving more information about Art of Mondays and the founder family to applicants before they actually get on a call with us. This way, they know what to expect. We know that they are aligned. And then when we get on a call, it's really just getting to know each other and making sure that they're a good fit for our community. The next and possibly my favorite update is that I finally got to hang out with Mo in person. We've been working together for the past 6 months on opposite sides of the world, and here he is crushing his very first ice bath, and it was just so awesome to finally get to work together in person. So shout out to Mo. Love your work, dude. And of course, we started Art of Mondays Founder Residency number 9, technically our 10th, here in Wanaka, New Zealand, about an hour north of Queenstown. And fair to say, it is absolutely beautiful here, and the people are amazing. We're having so much fun, and we're having such deep, open-minded, vulnerable chats as well. It's amazing to be able to be deep in thought, shedding tears, and talking about our childhoods 1 minute, and then the next minute playing hide and seek in the dark. It's the full spectrum, and we're having the best time. And as for our Founder Sports Club update, we are now almost at 4,000 members, which is up about 400 from the last couple of weeks. We're now live in 70 cities, and we just launched in places like Santiago, Zagreb, Cairo, and Liverpool, among a few others. And that's another week in the Art of Mondays world and my life. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you more than you know. And we will see you in the next chat, which will be either New Zealand or Italy. Thanks, fam. Peace.